All right, my Taurus friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you your monthly horoscope for April of 2020. All right, if you're new to the channel, please check it out. We've got daily horoscopes that dive deeper into all these aspects, as well as daily meds, little 10-minute meditations I started putting out to just help us zen out during this time of craziness that's going on in the world. All right, astrologically, this month of April is a little bit calmer than the first 3 months of the year, okay? We don't have as much planetary action happening. However, the things that are happening are delving into a great amount of personal growth. Okay, so we're all going to be going through great changes this month of April, although I don't have a list this long of the transits and aspects that are happening. So let's go over everything. You do have a new moon happening in your sign, which is exciting. Sun's going to enter your sign, so happy birthday if you're a sun, Taurus sun, or if you're Taurus rising. Well, here we go. All right, right off the gate on the 3rd. Now I've got mine set to the 5th just so you can see everything here from your perspective. On the 3rd, Venus is going to leave your first house, okay, leave Taurus and enter Gemini. So somewhere it's going to be leaving your first house, entering your second house, which is really powerful because your second house is about your finances. Venus is the money planet, okay? Taurus is the money sign. Venus is the money planet associated and ruling with you. So she'll be leaving your first house here, leaving your sign on the 3rd, entering Gemini, which is about new money coming into you, new ways of looking at finances, new ways of looking at material goods, material possessions, okay? Really seeing both sides of the coin. I like that in this particular case, the one that's face up, bright and shiny, as well as the one that's down dirty in the mud. There's two sides to every bill. There's two sides to every coin that you will be looking at as it's going through Gemini, which it won't retrograde this month, but it will retrograde in May in the sign of Gemini in your second house, giving you an extra boost this year of looking at your finances, looking at how you're spending money on material goods and material possessions. On the 3rd as well, we've got Mercury hanging up here with Neptune in your 11th house, okay? This is a bit, of how you're giving back to your community. I am the truth that I speak kind of energy. This is you communicating your dreams, communicating from your heart, communicating from your imagination, and sharing your communicative ideas, sharing your larger than life concepts. Okay, this is in your 11th house. Sharing your larger than life concepts with other people that are going to help bring these concepts to life. Okay, which could give you a personal breakthrough as Uranus is in your first house, and Venus moving into your money house. So this could be by communicating your dreams, by communicating what you're desiring in life. These your imaginative, crazy ideas, but your very futuristic thinking. Especially during this time, that this could be a great opportunity to move forward with that, especially as well with Mars being in your 10th house, saying move forward with career, okay? The work that I put in is the work I get out of this, which is really powerful for you. Now, Saturn is also in Aquarius, only up to 2 degrees, and then it's going to retrograde back into Capricorn, but it's still depending on, again, where you're at. If you're a later degree Taurus sun or Taurus rising, then Saturn's most likely still in your 9th house. Either way, on the 4th, we do have the Saturn, or the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction is exact, and that is in your 9th house, most certainly. And this is dealing with our shadow. When we're dealing with the 9th house, which rules Jupiter, 9th house rules Jupiter, the sign of Sagittarius. We deal with faith, we deal with learning, we deal with education, we deal with knowledge. This conjunction, there's a pro and a con. On one side, we could be living life to its fullest, not afraid of death in a sense. On another side, we could be afraid of that death, afraid of the shadow side, that we're not working through our shadow enough, okay? And we can become angry, we can become bitter, we can become obsessive. Pluto rules Scorpio, so there's an obsessive nature, hidden agendas, things beneath the surface. Okay, and Jupiter's saying more of that, more of that. Let's bring those to the light. Let's look at them. Let's really check it out here. What is this? What makes you tick? What makes you triggered? What makes you, angry or obsessive or crazed or passionate or a lover or feel sexy. You know, it can be all of these things, but you know, we're learning to grow through that during this time. Now, it happens once every 13 years. It's going to happen 3 times this year, this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, 3 times. And it usually happens once every 13 years. Okay. So we're getting it because of how they're retrograding together. So it's a really powerful time to you know, expand, as well as it being in the 9th house about knowledge, about faith, about information and higher information. We have to look at the higher information, how we're presenting that information to the world. You know, the thing that's popping into my head right now is called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Okay. Now, the Dunning-Kruger effect, if you're not familiar with what that is, it is confident ignorance on one hand. Not saying that you, my Taurus friends, are confidently ignorant. Just bear with me and listen to this. So on one hand, it's confident ignorant, like saying like, yeah, I know how to fix a car. I've done it a million times. And it's just like, do I know how to fix a car? No. You know, can I put an alternator in? Probably. You know, would I have to look up some stuff? You know, yeah, but like communicatively, it's just like, yeah, of course it can do that. You know, so on one hand, it's like it's confidently saying something that we can't, exaggeration, you know, that we don't really live up to doing. And on the other side, okay, it's that we have the ability to do these things. We have the intelligence, we have the smarts to carry these things through. And when we communicate with other people that aren't to that same level of higher knowledge and higher intelligence that we have put the work into creating, you know, I mean, your 9th house is Capricorn. So it's like you certainly do the work about learning and educating yourself, right? So when we find other people that don't, you know, we can, the other side of the Dunning-Kruger effect is looking at them like they're stupid, kind of, or ignoring them, or brushing them off, or like, I can't believe you didn't know that. I can't believe you don't know how to put an alternator in. You know what I mean? Scoff. Something like that. So this is part of the shadow side of self that we're dealing with in the Taurus, how this is all working into your 9th house about higher education, higher knowledge. And there's a certain sense of like, you know, it's just like teaching a child to walk up and down the stairs. You know, there's a bit of patience that we have to deal with ourselves and deal with other people. And there's a certain part of the Taurus, you know, ness that's just like, I have no patience to deal with ignorant people. Okay. So we have to figure out that balance within self, as we have to be patient with ourselves. You're the patient, you know, the patient one of the zodiac, patient Taurus, right? Anyway, so that's on the 4th. We're going to be feeling that throughout the rest of this year, in a sense. Now, on the 7th, there is a full moon happening in Libra, which is your 6th house, which is all about the work that you are putting in and giving back to the community. Okay? Again, Neptune and Mercury there in the community. And your dreams, your imagination, Sun, 12th house completion. There's karmic lessons to be learned. And what I'm giving back, you know, is a reflection of the lessons that I've learned. You see, the moon has no light of its own, but it's purely a reflection of the sun. So for you, and what you're giving back to people, again, is what you've learned through your karmic experiences, what you've learned as an individual, Sun in Aries here. And you want to give that back. You know, you want to be able to help your friends, help your community out. You want to be able to make money through this process, you know. So the work that you're doing allows money to come into you. The shadow work you're doing is going to allow this patience to come in, breakthroughs in yourself, you know, as Uranus really goes through your 1st house here and sparks new life into who you are as an individual. Very powerful, right? And again, Mars moving in through your 10th house of career, public image, people are going to start to see you in a whole different way. Okay. So this new moon, or this full moon happening on the 7th, really, really powerful, really lighting up again your services that you're giving back to the rest of the world. On the 12th now, Mercury over here is finally going to leave Pisces and enter Aries. Okay. Now this is cool. Okay. Mercury has been in, you know, besides being at the 28th, 29th degree, okay, it was there on February 2nd. On February 4th, Mercury moved into Pisces. It moved forward, retrograded backward, from here's your perspective. Move forward, retrograded backward, move forward through Pisces again. Now it's going to hit Aries on the 12th, okay, the 12th of April. And it's going to zip through in 15 days, and it's going to be in your sign of Taurus by the 27th, okay? Wow. From spending, 2.5 months solely, pretty much, in one sign, to zipping through another sign in 15 days. Now, it being your 12th house, again, being about karmic completions, endings, your spiritual connection with yourself, connecting to this high vibe, the ether. Okay, it's kind of fun that it's just zipping through so quickly. It's going to learn some karmic lessons. You're going to figure some stuff out. You're going to learn, where the sun has been as it's zipping through there as well in Aries, highlighting, seeing. Again, it's about the shadow work. This whole month is about shadow work, and it's not Scorpio season. It's not October, but we're dealing with a lot of shadow work right now. Okay, it's like the spring version of shadow work that we're dealing with. So there's like karmic completions and endings. Now Mercury's going to rip through in 15 days, going to bring you new insight into what's going on in your life, new ways to blossom, to open up. Then Mercury's going to enter Taurus on the 27th, okay, your first house, and it's going to be there for, a couple weeks in through May. Okay, now as well, I skipped over this. We have a new moon in Taurus, okay, in your first house, most likely your 12th house, unless you're really early, because it's going to happen at like 2 degrees. Okay, so this new moon, new beginning in Taurus is going to happen at like 2 degrees on the 22nd. Okay, sun's going to enter here on the 19th, then on the 22nd, sun moon conjunction, only a couple degrees away from Uranus in Taurus, okay? And at the same time, this conjunction is going to be a perfect sextile over here to the north node and a perfect trine over here to the south node, okay? So there's releasings, there's endings, like this Dunning-Kruger thing we talked about a minute ago. There's some sort of an ending happening with that on this new moon on the 22nd. Okay, so what starts early in this month, this growth process, really comes to like a fruition and a completion around the 22nd, around the new moon. And again, allowing you to follow new information in a heartfelt, compassionate center, being more empathetic, in your nature, in your walk as you're moving forward, okay? And then we're going to have the sun conjunct Uranus here on the 26th, which is, powerful new beginnings. This happens once a year. Uranus is our planet of release. All right. Aha, it's the Great Awakener. It's the lightning striking. It's the wrecking ball tearing down the old building to create something new. So we have this new moon beginning, new stable finances, new stable future, relooking at our money, relooking at what we need to survive in this world, creating stability for ourselves. Then we have breakthrough in that stability and self-awareness, okay, as Uranus is in your first house, most likely at 5 degrees here. Again, could be your 12th house, depending on where you're at, what degree you're at as a Tauran. So either way, this is powerful new beginnings, new breakthroughs, new endeavors, new ideas, new ways of looking at life, new visionary conquests that you want to bring and bring it, create, bring into fruition, create into this reality. And at the very end of the month on the 27th, the same time Mercury is going to enter Taurus, Pluto will begin its retrograde cycle. It's going to station retrograde for 2 days, 25th, 26th, and on the 27th it begins to, begins its true retrograde cycle through the sign of Capricorn, 25 degrees. So we're not going to really feel that in the month of April. We're going to start to feel that more of May, as it's a way outer planet, and it's a very slow moving planet in general. So it's not like a Mercury retrograde where we're going to feel this great halt. Computers are going to crash, your phone's going to break, whatever. We're not dealing with that. We're going to feel that much more in May, and I'll talk about it a bit more then. But otherwise, it's a lot of forward moving momentum. Okay, a lot of great change, personal growth, learning patience, okay, learning great change, great abundance and scarcity, okay, really looking at life in a new new perspective this month, okay? You know, April showers bring May flowers, so by May, we're going to have a whole new perspective on life, which is going to be really powerful, really beautiful transformation during this month ahead. So thank you for hanging out. As always, check out the daily videos, check out the daily meds, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great April.